Hi everyone, this is Jacob Adams, and today we will be going into moving the needle, what it is, how to do it, examining if you yourself are doing it, and your style on how you are in fact moving the needle. Also, we'll be getting into creating energy. Now, as you know, this show is solely for people that are aspiring to be leaders. They're committed to that process, or maybe interested solely, really interested with what is leadership. And then it's also for established leaders. This could be someone in a leadership position in their organization. It could be someone that is a teacher or a leading organization in a church. It doesn't matter. Your leadership is yours and yours alone. This is just solely for people that are in fact leading the way in some way, shape, or form. Now, everybody typically is a leader, even if you say yourself, well, I'm just a stay-at-home mom and I lead. You lead the home, right? So I'm gonna put a timer on real quick, and I want to keep this to a set time. Now, let me see if I can go ahead and go ahead and change this one here. Okay. So basically on today's show, what I want to go ahead and start off with is I'm building my leadership around something I like to call common sense self-mastery. Okay. So again, that is common sense self-mastery. And I'll tell you a little bit about what I'm building, the main ideas of what that's built on, what I'm seeing come from all of my years of examining, studying leadership, applying leadership, business growth, everything from spiritual growth, every element of my life. I'm tying it into something called common sense self-mastery. Many years ago, I saw something, and it was Bruce Lee. He said, it was a quote written by Bruce Lee. He said, if you put all of the best teachers in the world in one room, if you put them all in a room, and I'm talking everybody from Plato, Aristotle, let's throw in Napoleon, the great conqueror, Napoleon. Let's throw in Genghis Khan. Let's throw in Jesus. Let's throw in all of the best teachers of the world. Tesla, all of them. Let's throw in everyone that you think of. Bruce Lee himself, Gandhi, Nelson Mandela. Let's throw them all. He said that they'll agree on everything. Okay. So again, maybe some of those people were combative. I'm just saying, think of all the best leaders in the world. They're going to agree on everything if you throw them in a room. The best teachers, the best masters. You throw them in a room and they agree on everything. And he said, well, and then you take all of their students. So let's just say, okay, the students of Jesus, the student of Plato, the students of Aristotle, the students of et cetera, Tesla, doesn't matter. You take their students and you throw them in another room. And they disagree on everything. So here we have the masters agreeing on everything, and their students in another room disagreeing on everything. How is this juxtaposition possible? Well, what I saw in my life as I started studying and cultivating and really getting into the study of personal development, becoming a better person onto myself, studying the great lessons, I started to see a common thread. This thread that ran through all of the great teachings of the world, or the greatest masters. One of my mentors currently says, be obsessive about removing distractions. And a mentor prior to him said, develop systems to protect you from your lower self, This is a very similar concept, said differently, but the core message is the same. See that? They're two different people. Even currently today, one of my mentors, I'm talking about three different people, and the other one said, focus on what's making you productive. Right? And today, so that's what I said, okay, so I'm going to design something. What I'm seeing is something called, what I could contribute is bringing people look, there's always a common sense backbone to all lessons. There's a way that you can connect that. Let's call it a new operating system. Think of the new philosophy as an operating system. And what I'm saying is the philosophy and the framework, if it has a level of sophistication, we can, as fancy as it is, we can bring it back to a centralized common thread or backbone. And that's where I saw my work coming, is that common sense self-mastery. So whenever in doubt, come back to the common sense aspect and begin mastering from a common sense perspective. So you can gain that traction to continue moving the needle in the areas of your life that you need, the areas of your life that are important to you. Okay, so now my 3 things that I'm building my overarching philosophy on. So that's the one broad philosophy, right? That's so anyone can understand. How would you say it in 3 sentences? Common sense, self-mastery. 3 words. Then that, let's say it breaks off the branches, the roots start going into being open. In other words, and we're going to talk about being open here in a bit. Walking with faith, living with faith, right? Same thing. Having faith enough to continue moving forward. And then investing in you, and a little bit of that. So everything that is combined with investing in you. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of, in today's world right now, currently live right now, how this applies to even you and in the media. Okay. So we'll start off with something simple. Right now, the current, luckily I think it's dying down a little bit, but the current debate was, Trump and Hillary, yada, yada, yada. And it was a very passionate time for the last week as to how does this sit with people? There's protesters, there's people saying this, not my president, yada, yada, yada. And, the day before the election, my concern was with Hillary taking the presidency. And what I felt my concern was with her being potentially too much of a communistic leader. In other words, somebody that was into too much of a big government, and I didn't feel good. I didn't know what that would do. It didn't sit well with me. Either way, I said to myself, and this is where being open, one of the tenets of my philosophies that I implement and work with, said either way, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to be open to the next move in my life, whatever happens. See that? So there's that openness in action. And you yourself, let's just say you find yourself not liking the outcome of what happened because it was Trump, then you yourself have to be open the same way anyone else would have had to be open to the opposite of what they wanted, the outcome they wanted, right? So you have to be open in order to be not stuck, not stagnating in your position. You have to be open to the shift, open to what's next. Okay. So being open, and that's challenging because even as I stand here right now, I have to be open to feedback. I have to be open to the moment. I have to be open to this very real situation. So being open is important. Okay. Now, loving oneself, investing in oneself. What does that mean? That means that investing in oneself, that means if you don't take the time to buy a book that you feel this book is good for me, I want to buy it, but I don't want to spend the money. That little begrudgingness of it, and these days you can return the book if it really is horrible. Let's say it's a $10 book, a $5 book, a $20 book. Most books average about $15. If you don't want to invest that $15 for you, then there's really a bigger problem at play here. Usually, it has to do. Libraries are free. Libraries are free. If you don't have the time, you don't invest the time to invest in you. Then this is the core issue is really centered in actually not loving yourself enough to take a risk or investment in you. So that's a big tenet. Okay. I also am very much into meditation currently. That's because I saw that as one of my weaknesses. I couldn't do it. I didn't want to do it. I was always making excuses. And as the saying goes, if you can't, okay, meditate 1 hour, meditate at least 20 minutes a day, unless you don't have time. If you don't have time, meditate 1 hour. So it's just saying that if you yourself do not make the time to meditate because you're so busy, then it's kind of the little riddle is actually trying to say the real problem is your lack of self-love and self-reflection. That's the real problem. It has nothing to do with you not having the time as much as you're not giving yourself the love to invest in you. So that's my second tenet is that one. And then the third tenet built on this common self-mastery framework is walking with faith. Walking with faith is challenging because we have to trust that there's a guiding hand in our life. That could be, people may call it the universe. That's sort of the go-to one when people say, "Oh, I don't believe in God" or something. Well, the universe, that's fine too. I mean, that's really fine too. I believe that is fine. In Jesus and God. And so I'm saying have faith in life that things will work out if you're doing your best. Obviously, if you're going to go create problems in the world, create havoc in the world, then naturally it doesn't really matter how much faith you have because you yourself are your own worst enemy in that situation. So let me ask you something. I want you to think of two things. Like one of my mentors said, if you really want to be successful, become obsessive about two things. One, creating energy. Two, removing distractions. Okay, so that's one of the big keys to success right there. I just told it to you. Creating energy and removing distractions. So now that you know one of the big keys to success, here's my question to you. Have you written it down? Did you write any of this down? Right? Does that make sense? So that's sort of a big tell right there that if you didn't make a note of that, it's sort of a tell. Okay. One of my other mentors said, one of the tells I have for people is if they complain. Complaining is a big tell for me of whether that person has what it takes to make it to the next level. Okay. So now I want to go into this one awesome concept I heard years ago and I've been working with for a while now. Okay. Now here's the saying. It goes like this. It goes, how you do one thing is how you do all things. How you do one thing is how you do all things. Let's just say how you produce one thing is how you do all things. Okay. I said it several times so you can start playing with it and remember, write it down, start going into it, because this concept, this philosophy is one I want to bring to the surface for you. Okay. And what is this connected to? This is connected to self-love. We'll connect this one to self-love. In other words, do you love yourself enough to examine yourself? Do you love yourself enough to be aware of who you are? Know thyself. Look at all the philosophies of the world. Coming back to common sense, self-mastery. Look at all of the philosophy of the world. Know thyself. Prepare for the day. Take a lot of, there's a lot of the stuff. Like, do you have the love for yourself to actually know thyself and be aware? So how you do one thing is how you do all things. So can you describe your leadership? Can you describe it to me? Can you describe it to others? Can you write it down? Can you tell me about the way you lead? Can you tell me about your weaknesses? Do you know your weaknesses? Have you done anything to prepare for your weaknesses? My particular leadership style is taking action, period. Like, that is one tenet that I base a lot of my work on. Taking action, period. In other words, I've been procrastinating a little bit on this video, not because I've been doing I've been actually doing really very, very important other things, but I've taken action, and here's the video, and I'm going to have a great idea what to do with it because of the stuff I did before, but I've taken action. Now, always remember that the real people that are going to make it in life are on the field sweating. The people watching are not going to. There's no way to lead on the bench, really. Okay, that's what I'm saying. So that's my potential. That's how I describe some of my leadership is I take action, period. Like, I'm always looking like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? So it's okay. So then, leaders make satisfying decisions. They are always making the best decision at the moment. It's very difficult to get perfect. It's almost, let's just say it's actually perfect in many ways is an illusion for most leaders. It's difficult when you're leading people to get a perfect decision. A leader has to find the perfection through the balance of chaos and order. So that's one of the keys to understanding. Satisficing is better than theory. Okay? So that's the thing. It's like one of the things that I really like to do is ask myself, how much am I trusting myself? How much am I trusting myself? Because real confidence is trusting yourself. And the way you start trusting yourself is to examine and be aware of yourself, right? So think about these things, okay? Now, I want to ask you something. I'm going to tell you something. So remember, a leader cannot create what he is not. So that's why you want to examine how you do one thing, because it's how you do all things. So a leader cannot create what he is not. Okay? So ask people, I want to give you one final challenge on that position, is ask people to describe you, to tell you your strengths if you haven't done this already. So that we can start being aware of it. Like, my strength is energy and being open and positive and always wanting to grow. Like, that's a pretty consistent theme that I see in my life, and my friends have acknowledged that Jacob, you always want to grow. So I named my company Evolution Training Department because it's based on who I am, my fabric, right? And so what about you? Like, maybe you're very kind, maybe you're very loving. Does that make sense? So like, ask them when you really care about, hey, what are my strengths and weaknesses? Ask a few people, what are my strengths and weaknesses? And ask people like that care to be honest with you, what type of person you are. Okay? So then that's this part here. And then so today I'm actually going to talk to you about how to create energy. I want to take 5 minutes and just tell you how to create energy. Okay? So I'm going to I have this little board right here. It says right there, moving the needle. So let me see. This one will work. Okay. So as you can see here, what does moving the needle mean? So move the needle. Okay. So let's just say at the beginning of the year, 2017 is coming, and here's the needle, right? And let's just say you're like, I want to do something. I don't know what you want to do. Maybe you want to lose weight. Maybe you want to go get your master's degree. Maybe you want to start counseling people as a psychologist. Maybe you want to be a priest or a pastor. I don't know. But see, right now, like, say that needle symbolizes the I want to. And let's just say this one right here will symbolize the goal. So let's just say right here, goal. Let's just say that's the goal. Okay? So now, how do we move it from here to that point? How do we go from this position here and go through what I call the tipping point? Where it's like you're not only doing it, but you're now so far gone that you have no choice but achieve the goal. How do we get there? Okay, so that's what we're going to be going into here. Well, the first things I want to do is just how to create energy. So we're going to go into that. This is creating energy's premise 1. So let's just say, here's how I do it. So I start off the day with 26 ounces of water. And we'll say sleep. Let's say 6 to 7 hours minimum, okay? So you want to create energy. So make sure you get the 6 to 7 hours of sleep, okay? I take something called nighttime recovery, and if you want some, just let me know. I'll get it for you. Nighttime recovery. I take that nighttime recovery, and then 6 to 7 hours of sleep. I take 26 ounces of water. Now, I'm so devoted to this, actually, that I actually bought a 26-ounce water bottle just to sit by my bed for this very sole reason. In other words, I do not leave it to chance. I make sure I give 26 ounces every day before I get out of bed. Then meditate. Anyway, it could be from anywhere. The average is 10 to 20 minutes. The third thing I do is shower. The fourth thing I do is take M&S. M&S looks like this. It has all of the vitamins. It's got fish oil, probiotics. This is for the whole day. It's got a thermogenic It's got a fat burner in there. It's got some teas in there. I mean, this has everything that you need for a day, ready to go. That's what metabolic nutrition system stands for. And then I'll take some Spark, which is this one here. Okay, so this is pretty much my cocktail. Oh, and then Audible book on the way to work. And then, so I'll listen to an Audible book on the way to work that is designed for my mentality, my philosophy, to strengthen my leadership, to strengthen who I want to be, my focus. Again, because I want to move the needle. You see this? And then, lastly, the other one is no email, social media. You have to be careful with that one. No email or social media. I know it's a little sloppy, but you understand. No email. The reason you want to do this is because you have to understand that the world is trying to get your attention. And they're trying to get your attention, so you have to understand not all of their intentions are for your objective. I myself am a coach, and yes, I set up my business so that not only I win, but more importantly, you win, because without you winning, I cannot win. I cannot get a referral or continued business if I'm not propagating growth, right? If I'm not helping people move the needle in their life, right? Then I'm not getting the growth. I can't get referrals or a reputation that I want. So my intention when I create something is to help you grow. But not everybody has that intention. Some people have the intention to distract you, to just get a click. That some people create clickbait with, like what we saw with a lot of this election. Even below this, you may have seen, Bernie can get the presidency with a loophole. That was one of the that was just yesterday, and I posted it because it's like there's clickbait out in the world that is just designed to get you a click and distract you. In other words, there's method to this madness, folks. In other words, that, if my mentor tells me create energy, which I just told you how I create it, and then you see all of this distraction, you see all of the clickbait going on, you see a lot of on Instagram, all of the people that are on there, sharing some skin, showing some skin. We live in a world where distractions are so prevalent that it becomes necessary for you to set up your day so you're not getting those distractions, in order to maximize your energy clarity, in order to move the needle. Okay, so and how I'll tell you a little bit about my life right now, just as far as like how does this apply just in my life. So at the beginning of 2016, I set 3 goals. And here's another thing that's important for clarity is like, see, this is one of my sheets here, and I'll tell you a little bit about that. So here's my goals. I set up the 3 goals here. There's 1, 2, 3. So that's 1, 2, 3. And at the beginning of the year, I started training with Brendan Burchard, and he's like, okay, so look, 3 things. And I had already liked that 3 project system. I set that up also in 2015. So when he showed me that, I was like, yeah. So he's like, so you got to get obsessive about your goal to move the needle. And every day I write down the same 3 goals. My 3 goals, I could tell you, like, there's never a moment where I'm like, what am I supposed to be doing? It's like, look, my main goals are to develop, get deeper into meditation. That's that self-love. Remember, self-love, investing in me. That was my weakness for a while. And it's not anymore. It's now a strength. Man, the other thing I wanted is keep getting bigger and better into my physical body, becoming in better shape. That's just my I call it the body of work project. And the last project that is my career is evolutiontraining.net and also Advocare. And every one of those areas moved. Every single one of those areas moved the needle because I had the clarity, the risk, the tenacity. Like I was like, no, Jacob, that's all you want to do. But the thing is, those goals didn't just come from anywhere. That was a very sought out, very aware, very value driven, very purpose driven, very heart driven, very vision driven, destiny. There's so many elements that compose those 3 goals that I knew, like, as long as the needle moves in those, I'll never look back at 2016 and say, what did I do with my year? I never wished a single day away. I think the year went by so quickly right now. I can't wait for 2017 to start again, to get people like, let's keep going, move the needle. So I'll tell you a little bit about that here in a bit. Let me see how much time we have left today. And so my friend Drew, he just texts me, and he's like, on Facebook, he's like, I want an accountability partner. And I'm like, of course. Now, Drew himself this year, because we started working together in two years ago as friends, he started getting into marketing. He had made $0, and I was one of his first clients. And now he's made his first $10,000 in a year, this year. And why did he text me? Because he wants more. He wants to grow more. He wants to move the needle more. And he knows Jacob's going to help me. We're going to help each other, right? We're going to be accountable. And so in other words, this is the reality you start creating when you decide to be a leader. That's what this all connects to. It's just real stories. This is a real story. He really made $10,000 this year in marketing. So then also Joe, one of my friends, he's just bought his dream home, and he's like, Jacob, he's an Advocare with me on my Advocare team, my friend for 20 years. And he's like, Jacob, I said, look, let's help pay your house out. Let's get you to the next level in Advocare. I mean, that's one of the things that we do with Advocare, is to help people in their finances. And we're going to talk right now in a little bit, after I make this video, talk about how to do that, right? And he's on his way to be an advisor. In other words, when you move the needle in your life, people will say, I really want to move the needle as well. They start seeing the light in a world full of darkness. That's what the importance of leadership is, to keep propelling forward, okay? So congratulations to Joe, my friend of 20 years, to his dream home. It's a beautiful, it is a beautiful home. So I'll be talking here to Joe in a bit. So then always remember that the money you make is always just a reflection of the amount of impact that you're making in the marketplace. It's a reflection of how much you're manifesting your leadership, period. Okay, so now also my friend Ariel, who started taking the evolution course, she's currently got a new job. She's like, Jacob, I'm getting paid pretty well. And one of the things we talked about as she's taking this evolution course is refining her goals, getting her 3 goals. Just like I have my 3 goals, is getting her 3 goals nice and clear. And one of the things we came up with is, okay, you're going to be committed to this job for this set amount of time. Here's what you're looking to get from it. Here's the feedback that you're looking to get. Here's the growth you're looking to get. So she has goals, metrics, so that she is able to engage. She has that clarity to say, okay, here's my length of time. Here's what I'm looking to get. Here's my distractions. Here's what I'm looking at, watch out for. And so that's one of my friends. And so what I'm telling you is that this is my life. This is not theory. This is not a concept. And the only reason it's not a concept and it's not a theory, that these people I work with, these people, my friends, people in my life, the reason this is not a theory is because I chose to have the clarity that I'm telling you about. I chose to have the discipline, to have the sleep, to remove the distractions, to have the energy. I've developed the disciplines and systems to create this reality. And you can too. I'm telling you how to do it right now. Okay, so then the last thing we want to talk about is, myself in my own life. How did I do with my 3 goals, right? Let's see how much time we have left. How did I do with my 3 goals? My 3 goals for the year. Let's start with meditation. Meditation, there's days where I only meditate 5 minutes. I think overall I've missed under 10 days of meditation. I've missed under 10 days of meditation in 2016. And I could honestly tell you I feel a huge difference when I don't meditate. When I don't meditate, I feel shaken and a little bit unsteady in myself. And so it's the area of my life that's really improved is meditation, as I sought out to, and I look to get deeper in 2017. I'm looking to get, I can only imagine getting deeper. Wow. The amount of joy and self-reliance and self-love and the amount of leadership it can help me create in my life. Okay. So meditation's done great. And then what else? My body of work. Okay, so yesterday I was at the gym still getting it. What I say by that, why I say still getting it is after 16, 18 years, I had an amazing workout yesterday. I did a CrossFit workout, it's true to form, put 25 minutes on the clock. I did 10 to 11 rounds on the clock, and it felt great. I felt strong, balanced, calibrated. Some of the old injuries I had have been clearing out, and nothing drastic, just some, a little shoulder impingement, nothing that's improving, getting stronger. So my body work is doing good. I feel energized. I feel stronger. I feel leaner right now than I did a few days ago. Okay. And so then that's my body of work. So my body of work is on tags. I mean, it's doing good. I feel healthy. I feel really good. And then the last project is Evolution Training. Evolutiontraining.net, www.evolutiontraining.net would not even have existed without taking action and having the clarity. One of my friends saw a video just like this, and he's like, Jacob, I want to help you and whatever, I want to help you with your videos. And then together we collaborated. Evolutiontraining.net came to fruition, and I'm excited to, I just can't even, without these taking action, without taking bold action, you're never going to get to that next level of your life, whatever that is. Okay. And then Advocare, it's been the best year I've ever had with this year, but it's not so much just me. It really isn't, because what I want to tell you is my team is growing, and that's the most important part. For me, it's been a steady overall flow. It hasn't been exponentially bigger for me. What has made me feel love is that I know that the people on my team are improving and becoming better leaders and getting an extra paycheck, whether it's $100, $200, $300 a month, $400, $500 a month sometimes. That to me makes me feel great, because I know that they're getting healthier, they're helping people get healthier, and they're making extra income. And I know that in 2017, we can only go up from here. So every area of my life improved. That's the real story there. Okay, and so that's it. That's a little bit about that. And then now basically, always remember a little bit about what we talked about, and let's see how much time we have left here. We're running out of time. So always remember that what is meant by moving the needle. Move the needle in the areas that count in your life. Don't just move the needle, meaning do stuff, but do the right stuff, because moving the needle is one of the hardest things, meaning moving the needle in the areas that actually matter to you on a soul level, for destiny, for your legacy, for your overall pride, development, self-esteem. That's actually hard to do. And that's what this video has been about and centered on, describing what it is, bringing it to the surface, discussing some of the strategies, creating energy to get that going for you. Told you about common sense self-mastery, how all of the great teachers are basically saying some of the same things in different ways, okay, and how I've built a course that tells you, look, these are some of the main things, guys. This is what everyone agrees on, and that's one of my courses that Evolution Training is about, okay. And then so on the next show, the question is, the next show is going to be about, are you bold enough to show love to everyone? Are you bold enough and brave enough and do you love yourself enough to just give people love? That's going to be on the next show. Thank you so much for watching. I've had a lot of fun. Go to www.evolutiontraining.net, and then you go to the bottom, put your email and name an email on there, and you're going to get a training that's going to blow your mind. It's going to help you move the needle in 2017 dramatically. And other stuff that I'm gonna give you for free that you're not even ready for, because it's gonna be amazing how much good stuff you get. And also, you'll have access to something that I'm developing called Move the Needle. You're gonna get, I'm not even gonna show this to anyone unless they put their name and email, because it's that special to me. Okay, so Move the Needle, and then obviously, if this video helped you out, if you're a leader and you want to help your organization, you want to give them some, hey, look at this guy right here, whatever, please share this, engage with the post below, like and share, and obviously, you're awesome. I look forward to see you on the next time. This is Jacob Adams, yours in leadership and evolution. We'll see you next time.